Great question. Now you put me on the spot. So our trustee board is made up of the 6 sabbaticals, 4 externals, and 3 student trustees, who we elect at the same time during our elections. And the board has the strategic oversight. Thanks, Fahim. I chair the trustee board. Basically, it's what makes the organisation run. We look at issues like charity law, making sure that we abide by the Charity Commission's regulations for us. We look at the strategic direction of the organisation, and we look at anything sort of big issue, and we do things like hiring of the CEO and that sort of thing. So that's our trustee board. Thanks, Sam.
Any other questions? Then we're going to move to voting. We're going to do this as 2 separate elections. So in the first one, we're going to vote on Sarah, and you can either vote for Sarah or Ron, and then afterwards we're going to move on to vote separately on Nick. So yeah, press 1 if you want to vote for Sarah, 2 for Ron, 0 to abstain.
Please, it's taking me months.
Okay, and we have elected Sarah. We're now going to go and vote on Nick. Just going to give you a second to read the text here. Okay, we're going to move to vote on Nick. Press 1 to vote for Nick, 2 for Ron, and 0 to abstain. And we have elected Nick. And that was all the elections we had in county today.
Thank you very much, Marianne. In which case, can I please invite the SABs up to give their reports?
Stay up there. Should we? I have the other one, so we don't have to stretch the. Not a lot of room on the stage.
It probably goes slightly further ahead. I don't know why we're behind the table.
So would you all.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Katie. I usually have pronouns. I'm your Vice President for Women. So in my video report, I talked about the progress on the Home to Vote bursary that we voted to approve at last fortnight's council ago. Yeah. The money's now run out. We've been able to support a number of students. It's been really successful, but applications are now closed. If you want to find out other ways of trying to get Home to Vote, if you are an Irish student studying here, drop me a line. There's various colleges putting on their own bursary schemes, so I may be able to connect you with the relevant people in the committees. Other things I've been doing is that all of the many training workshops that I am doing are now in full force. So I've run 4 consent workshops now and 1 bystander intervention training, and there's like 12 more sessions to go. Some of them are central. The consent workshop ones are full now, but bystander's still available. And there's some on in colleges. If you check my video report, I do a list of what colleges they're at. So if your college isn't mentioned, drop me a message and I'll book you a session. Great, thanks.
Hi Council, Kate Sheeher, I'm the SU President. From me, it was Mental Health Awareness Week last week, so some amazing things going on in the university. Special shout out to the MTRs at St Anthony's and St Cat's, because we had great fun playing with animals. But the highlight of the week for me, although I love animals, was getting some serious lobbying done, and we have secured mental health first aid training for all the new sabbaticals, and hopefully in future also free for student reps, which is a massive step forward. The course usually costs about £500, but we've partnered with Rethink Mental Illness, which is super exciting, so that's something I'm incredibly proud of. Other than that, my focus is quite internal at the minute, preparing for the end of the year, so it's things like writing the impact report of everything we've got done and planning the induction of our successors. The only other thing from me is from SUSCAM, who just want to remind you that they're doing care packages for suspended students, or previously suspended students, I should say, who have exams this term. There's a link on the website, on their page, or drop me an email And if you've got any friends who have suspended sitting exams, we'll send them something nice in their badge. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Faheen, she, her pronouns, VP Welfare and Equal Ops. Sorry about that. So yes, last week was Mental Health Awareness Week. We did loads of fun things. No, it's good. We also heard the mental health policy at Welfare Forum. So hopefully more colleges will be taking up a mental health policy that allows for better structural support and provisions for students. As well as that, lots of stuff has been happening around race and access. In the last week, the university got the Race Equality Charter Mark Bronze Award, which is interesting for my part. But it was quite aptly done a week before the access report released today. Obviously, I acknowledge this is the start of the conversation that needs to be had, and a bunch more structural changes need to occur to better support students of colour and BME students once they get here and before they get here. So there's a lot more to be done. Yeah, congrats to Mansfield for doing really well, because we're here. As well as that, there were loads of other things going on throughout last week to do with like students of colour and to do with various other things in terms of linking with the arts, like the theatre world and various other things that I've been helping with. Alongside that, I worked on a Eurobroad information session with the modern languages faculty. That was very well attended. We had about 90 attendees, and we got 12 pizzas eaten, so that was great. Whilst I was fasting, that was fun. And a shout out to the students who volunteered for that. Apart from that, I put some other stuff in my report, but if you have any other questions or things you want to work on, do let me know. I'm happy to help.
Tom here, Oxford SU, VP Charities and Community. I've got nothing really to add to my video reports, so go and watch that. Other than the bike doctors are on again, week 6 and 7, Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Radcliffe Square. So go and do that if you want to. Please don't leave.
I'm Marianne Melson. I'm the Vice President for Graduates and I use she, her pronouns. Since my last report to Council, I've been doing roadshows with the Virtual Learning Environment Project Board because we are getting rid of WebLearn and getting something better. The roadshows are primarily aimed at staff, but if any of you want to come along, we do have another one next week, so please get in touch if you'd like to come along and see what it's all about. Tom and I have been doing some work on junior deans, employment conditions for junior deans and training packages for junior deans. We're going to take that to a committee next week. Hopefully going to get some progress on that. Then tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be reviewing the Said Business School. If any of you study at the business school and have something to say about it, good or bad, please feel free to get in touch with me, and you can make anonymous comments. So don't be shy if there's something you would like me to raise with them, so we can hopefully create change. Yep.
Kathleen is on annual leave this week. So there's only 5 of us, as astute counters will have noticed.
Her statement is online as well to do with the access report. If you have anything that you would like to do to further access, do get in touch with her. She can put you in touch with the right people.
Great.
She's back.
Does anyone have any questions for the sabbatical officers at all? No, perfect. Thank you very much. Great. So in which case we will move to our first motion, which is about the National Health Service, a motion to amend and renew the policy. Does anyone have any opposition to this motion? Give you a minute to read it through. Great. Is there any opposition to this motion, or would you like more time? Okay, I'll give you more time then. Sorry, is that opposition? Yeah. So, Faheen, if you want to answer.
So I'm just interested. It says that we're going to make a policy against the blood donation ban. I'm just interested. Are there any practical steps that are planned to actually campaign on that issue?
So Faheen, Oxford SU, she, her.
Sorry,
Could you just say
it's
your-
Matthew Judson, Lady Margaret Hall, he, him.
So yeah, Faheen, Oxford SU, she, her. Actually, yes. So I'm working with. So recently, the Terence Higgins Trust got cut funding from Oxfordshire, and had now the only closest one is in London. But we were working with them previously to do various campaigning on this and to fund research specifically. So I'm working with various organisations that are working to fundraise with them and working nationally to try and oppose some of the blood bans with the NUS LGBTQ campaign. So yeah, that's where we're working on it in terms of public lobbying. It's going to come back into session in the House of Commons in September. So having this policy will be really strong for my successor to be able to lobby for it on that end as well.
Are there any more questions? No? Is there any opposition to the motion? No? In which case, motion passes. Thank you very much. So next motion. The next motion is about the new rules of the Student Council, so I'll also give you a couple of moments to read that. Is there any opposition to the motion? Or would anyone like to discuss the motion at all? Oh, wait, sorry, just 1 second for the mic to get to you. Do you want to do that?
Thank you.
Marion, would you like to do that?
Dane Rogers, Merton College, he, him. The factual question I ask is, what would your proposed new complaints procedure be under these new rules? As I'm just trying to understand how that would work.
Yes. Yeah. Just to begin with, and then I'm going to hand over to Josh. I think we did have an issue with the way it was phrased in the old rules for council, because we basically had one thing in rules council where we said this needs to go to a complaints procedure, and then we had a complaints procedure which specifically said we cannot handle complaints about these specific things. So we basically had rules that were incompatible with our own complaints procedure. I'm going to hand over to Josh for the details about how we will handle this.
Yeah, so essentially the rules kind of stated that you go to the complaints procedure for things like the conduct of an all-student consultation and so on, but realistically this is the responsibility of steering, for example, and there are processes for holding them accountable in this council, not through a complaints procedure which is dealt with by trustees. So it's if, for example, you weren't happy with how an all-student consultation was run, you would hold the members of steering committee responsible in this room here via censure or no-con. That would be the procedure.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to the motion or any other questions? If there's no opposition, then the motion passes. Thank you very much. Is there any other business at all? For anyone? In which case, that's the end of the meeting, a short one. Thank you very, very much.